This is my note card. This is my audience. Andrei Sakar once said, "It's hard to forget someone that gave you so much to remember." My grandpa was one of the people that gave me a lot to remember. He died about 7 years ago now, but the way he conducted himself, the way he treated people, and the way he loved people still resonate with me today. My grandpa was my hero, and he taught me many lessons that have stuck with me and will stick with me for the rest of my life. So first of all, my grandpa was a loving man. He loved his wife, and he really showed me how to treat a woman. He proved to me that chivalry isn't dead, and I strive to have a relationship like my grandpa one day. He also loved us grandkids and his whole family. He had a very large family, and he was always willing to help us out when we needed it. He was the one person that was always there for me. He was the one person that I could always talk to with no matter what was going on in my life. And lastly, he loved God. He was a Christian man. He based his life around Christ, and he based his relationship around Christ. And I think that that's something that's extremely important. And I think that's why he was the man he was, and why he was such a good man, because he wanted to be a Christian man. He wanted to be godlike, and that's something that still sticks with me. Another thing that was his generosity. And I'm not talking necessarily his generosity with his money, but also his generosity with his time. He was always there for me. He was always willing to help me out when I needed it. I still remember from a young age, he would take me up to his farm. He had a large farm he would run. And I would go up there to work with him, although I really doubt I was doing much working. I'm sure I was much more of just a liability than anything else. But he didn't mind losing that day of work, because he gave me a special experience and a special occasion that I still remember today. And it's something I'll never forget. He would use his time for just frivolous activities that were special to me. After school, I still remember going over to his house and playing ping pong downstairs with him for hours at a time. We weren't even competing. We were just hitting the ball back and forth, just having conversations about life and having conversations about what it means to be a good person. It's these experiences that are very trivial, but they're special. They have a meaningful spot in my heart, and they're things that I'm not going to forget. Lastly, my grandpa was a hard worker. He was a meat cutter for his career, but he also had a very large farm that he ran. And he would put in long hours during the week cutting meat, and then after work he would go work at his farm, and on the weekends he would go work at his farm. And he didn't see work as something bad. He saw it as something good. He went to work every day with a joy and a smile on his face, no matter what was going on in his life. He saw it as a responsibility. It's something that I really respect, and it's something that I want to strive to be like. A lot of times I find myself complaining about having to work, but I never heard him complain once. And that really had a deep impact on me. So in conclusion, I have an amazing family, but my grandpa was a centerpiece of that family. He was a foundation that my family was built on. And he truly was an amazing man. As I said, he passed away 7 years ago, but these qualities, these traits, how he loved people, how he was a hard worker, his generosity, they still stick with me today. And I miss him every single day of my life. He truly was my hero. He truly was the man I hope to be like. And the helpful thing is I know that one day I will see him again. When my time up here on earth is done, and I'm standing at the gates of heaven, I know he'll be up there waiting for me. But until that day comes, I strive to be the man he would be proud of.